Right, so this morning we have, as usual, a number of issues to discuss. Our first discussion this morning will be about the Nigeria Data Protection Council, or the Nigeria Data Protection Commission. That's the NDPC, which has now imposed a fine of 555 million naira on a commercial bank, Fidelity Bank PLC, this for non-compliance with data protection regulations. Now, this fine was announced by the NDPC's National Commissioner, Dr. Vincent Olatunji, during a stakeholders workshop in Abuja, and the bank has now been given 14 days to pay the fine, which is part of the NDPC's efforts to enforce the provisions of the NDPC Act of 2023 and ensure the protection of personal data in the financial sector. Well, Ibrahim, this is rather novel.
Yeah.
When you look at, the antecedents of the NDPC. In fact, according to it, in this revelation that was reported on Wednesday, this is said to be the largest fine imposed by the agency on a commercial bank. And it came, from, as a result of, will I say, discussions or lack of, appropriate responses from the bank in question. And, the discussion or the revelation has actually, emanated from as far back, or will I say 2023. And, up till now, the agency now said it was forced to impose this huge amount on the bank after, several no-shows and, other, allegations that it said, or atrocities that it said the bank in question committed, which warranted this, large fine that was imposed on it.
Right, yeah, because their fine actually ranges from maybe from 10 million upward, but just like you said, this is the largest. And, data protection is something that is very, very key, because when people entrust you with their information, their personal data, organizational data, it's it's incumbent upon you to, make sure that you keep this data, to show that, yes, people can trust you, they can trust your organization. But, according to this, the NDPC, they said that they failed to cooperate with them during the investigation and all of that, and that's one of the reasons why they are slamming them 555 million naira. And I believe that this should serve as, a deterrent for other banks or other organizations that are dealing with their customers' data, because I can't imagine being a customer of an institution, banking institution for that matter, and my information is out there, my data is not protected. And sometimes I don't know whether you've also received unsolicited calls, unsolicited messages about you coming for something or coming for a conference, or, and then obviously that this thing is just a means to defraud you. So it's really not good, because even for the institution, banking institution is not good, because it can lead to financial loss for them. When you have your customers, when they are not well protected, then invariably they might be losing some things, which definitely might affect your own organization. And it also affects reputational damage. I mean, it causes reputational damage for such organization. Legal consequences can also follow, coming from here and there, security risks, privacy violations, and all of that. So it's very important that organizations, institutions, corporations take very, very seriously the people's confidential information,
right?
Because when they entrust you with something, it's incumbent upon you to ensure that this thing is kept as much as you can.
Absolutely, and two things, came up for me, stood out, I should say. First, as I earlier mentioned, the said arrogance on the part of the bank, and this is also a lesson. Not just to the bank, but to, every other public entity, so to speak. You are dealing with the public. Definitely, there should be a level of accountability. It's yet to be seen if there is a window by which maybe they can plead for some form of soft landing or leeway. At least the lesson has been learned. One hopes so.
Exactly.
And, all of that. We are yet to know what the response will be like. But it is huge. It is huge. And of course, there's also the question of what happens now. One hopes that they will sit up, the bank in question will sit up.
And other organizations.
Absolutely. And another thing that stood out for me again is the fact that this was as a result of, complaints by the customers themselves. Right. And we are beginning to be very intentional. And it's gratifying to see that, as citizens, we are getting to be more aware of our rights, especially since this issue of data breaches, data complaints, and all of that, unauthorized leakage of or release of information of your customers. This is something that perhaps we overlook a lot in this part of the world. But, having to now speak up, give complaints, and for the agencies to also now sit up and, work on those complaints, invite the banks in question, and they too should also respond as they should and not, be aloof to these complaints. We hope that this will be, the start or a sign of better things to come, better sanity in the banking industry and indeed across the country.
All sectors,
We'll take a